As you may know, our core class is always the same sequence every Wednesday, and there's a reason for that. I do try to mix it up throughout the week, but on core day, because we want to really protect the neck, everything should be looking up at the ceiling. So if we're cranking our head to the side to look at our TV or our devices, we risk a little bit of tweaking into the neck. So a couple things. We're going to elevate underneath the thoracic to lift up the upper chest. You can do that with a roll towel. You can do it. Roll towel is beautiful because if it's too high and you find your breath is catching, you can unroll it. I'm using one of these Pilates boards. And also, when we interlace behind the head, right there at the curvature of the skull, just lightly to let the head rest back into the palms. We don't want to be pulling on the head to curl ourselves forward. And one of our yogis here in Montana suggested, if you feel like you're doing that, to grab a dish towel, bring it behind the head, and just use the dish towel to like be a hammock for the head, right? So we want to pay close attention. It's slow work. We're going to work into the sternum. We're going to work into the very, very, very low pelvic. We're going to work into the obliques. But we want to make sure that we're not overcompensating in the back body or the neck to do that. So with that said, let's come down, take a moment, come onto your back. Again, with that towel or whatever underneath your shoulders. Support the head so that the chin isn't jutting up. We're going to come back into that incline in just a minute, but here, allow yourself to settle on your mat. So maybe we take that constructive rest pose with the legs, where the feet are kind of wider than the hips, kind of feet are pigeon-toed in, and we allow the knees to just rest on each other. A slight tilt of the pelvis. Squeeze through the shoulder blades, maybe a hand to the belly and the heart. Just feel yourself arrive. Notice the breath, the quality, the length, the fullness. And always notice what that breath offers to your body, besides the obvious, but the longer exhales just seems to bring the body a little bit heavier, a little bit looser to the mat. So just enjoy a couple breaths here. Enjoy the fullness of one more inhale and slow exhale. And then heel toe the feet so that they're parallel, maybe hip distance apart. Take the block out from behind the head, or if you're using any support, interlace the hands behind the head and then just lower that head down. So you're going to begin to feel this incline in the upper body. Just feel into that and maybe open the elbows wide. So this is where we take our first test. If our towel is too high, if you feel there's a catch in the breath, go ahead, roll to one side and just make whatever adjustments. If you don't feel anything, then maybe roll that towel just a little bit higher. And I'm going to make one more adjustment here. And then return. Again, hands interlaced behind the head, elbows wide. Take a full breath here. Notice any difference if you made that adjustment. And just let the elbows fall wide. And we're going to bring the hands, let the back of the head now rest on your mat. Bring the hands right to the hip crease so the heel of the palms and the hip crease kind of touch. And we're just going to scan into how this feels. So with the palms resting on the thighs, take that big inhale, draw in the core, and just slide the hands up towards the knees, shoulders and head, lift off the mat. Notice your breath, and then just slide back down. So taking 4 on your own, just to warm up the front and the back. And again, to kind of make sure that the height under the shoulders allows for the breath. Last one, we move nice and slow and we just notice what we notice here. And then draw back down, relax the shoulders, relax the head. So interlacing behind the head. Now this is where I ask you to please don't look at your device unless it's on the ceiling. Draw the elbows up, draw the gaze up. Tuck in the belly. 4-part count here. Big inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, curl in. So elbows towards the knees, head lightly in the palms. Inhale, we come back halfway. And exhale, we release everything down. So again, your breath here. Inhaling fully, we come up half. We curl in. We come back half. And we rest and release. Take 5. All right, as you finish the 5th, head comes down, open up the elbows, expand through the chest. So that's working that whole upper sternum area. I'm going to lead the crossover. If just doing that 4-part is enough for you today, that's a lot. So you continue with that. I'm just going to work more into the side body. Same 4-part count, same breath work. Elbows up towards the ceiling. Draw in your core. As you're ready, inhale, up halfway. On the exhale, send that elbow towards a knee. Come back halfway and lower everything down. Elbows stay up, gaze stays up. Inhale up, cross over. Now, as we cross over, we don't bring the knee into the chest. The knee stays above its hip point, and we reach for the knee with the elbow. Come back halfway and lower. Let's take 5. Up and across, back and down. On your own, reach for that knee. It doesn't have to make it there. It's just a target. I have 2 more. And the slower you go, the more you will feel into all the areas that make this move. Returning down, head down, elbows wide. Enjoy a breath here. And we're going to roll to one side. Whatever you have underneath your shoulders, just take it out. Keep it right next to you because we're going to use it here in a minute, but allow yourself a full body stretch. So send the legs long, the arms long overhead, maybe a wiggle or 2 through the torso as you reach those fingers far apart from the toes. Then gather the knees into the chest, squeeze them in, maybe that roll of the tailbone up so that you get this nice stretch into the low back, and maybe a rock side to side. And then release and come into that bridge shape. So bridge, feet parallel, heels close to the hips. Grab that towel or whatever you were using. And on your inhale, press into your feet. Lift the hips. Come on into that bridge pose. Let the weight of the body roll to the top of the shoulders, not the neck, not the head. Pause there. Send those hips towards the back of your mat as you lift the hips a little bit higher. Take a breath. And then whatever you were using under your shoulders, we're just going to slip it right underneath to rest at the sacrum and then lower the hips. So make an adjustment. This is not into the low back and it's not into the flesh of the buns. There's this nice shelf in between both, and that's where you want to elevate. So like a supported bridge. Again, squeeze in the shoulder blades, tuck in the chin. Bring the legs to your tabletop position, flex through the feet. So here, a slight tilt of the pelvis just to protect the low back. The knees, again, right over the hip points. As you're ready, just heel taps, alternating heel taps. Right heel slowly lowers, finds the mat, and then slowly lifts back up. Now you can hold on to the side of your mat here for some leverage. For me, I like to always feel when I'm working, so my finger pads are right into my low belly, the spot between the hip points, and I can feel the muscles there working to make this movement. Again, the slower you go with resistance, keep the breath going, fuel those muscles, right? Take 4 rounds on your own. Light tap, keep the knees right over the hips. I have 2 more. As you finish, draw again the knees in, give them a hug with that towel or whatever you're using underneath you. You can roll up just a little more to curve into the spine and to find a nice stretch there. Take in a breath. Then release the clasp on the shins and take the legs up towards the ceiling. And again, if it feels good to spread the toes and roll through the ankles, take a moment. Legs stay right over the hips. Heel taps again. Little bit deeper, a little bit slower. As you're ready, draw in your core. Big breath, slowly lower. 1 heel down. Doesn't have to tap. Slowly bring it back up. So as you alternate right and left, pay particular attention to the low back. Low back wants to kick in to help maybe a weaker core. So what do? We just don't go down as far, right? We just bring it to wherever we can feel the work in the whole front body, not the back. Three more here, each side. And again, as you finish, hug the legs in, squeeze, take a rock side to side. Now you can stay with the knees in that tabletop position. You can alternate legs up, dropping 1 heel at a time. I'm going to lead both legs. So here I bring my feet together, my ankles, my knees. So it's one leg. Again, watching that they stay right over the hips. Take in my breath, gather everything in, lower any amount. One leg. I only take it about a third, and then squeeze and bring it back up. So you do you. Particular attention to the low back and moving slow with breath. Inhale to expand long. Exhale, contract, bring it all in. Take 5. Again, returning to draw the knees into the chest, squeeze. Plant the feet, coming back to that bridge position. Lift the hips. So in your bridge, we lift the hips. We let the weight of the body roll from the hips to the shoulders. Pausing there. And then take that towel, just remove it from underneath you, set it off to the side. And your choice, you can roll down vertebra by vertebra, or you can come down flat. It just depends on the health of your spine. Once you arrive back, allow the hips to settle on the mat. Again, feel the support of the spine from that tailbone all the way up through the neck. Grab for your block. Place the block between the knees. I have mine lengthwise, so it runs from my knees through my inner calf. Again, we bring ourselves back to the table position with the legs. Extend the arms out to a T or maybe cactus. Again, just to feel the space in the upper chest. Squeeze into that block. Send the knees over to the right, any amount. Keep the shoulders and the head steady towards the ceiling. Squeeze and inhale, bring the block to center, and just roll to the left. So nice sweeping movement with breath, right to left. We inhale to center and we exhale to each side. Taking 2 more sweeps each side. We'll meet at center when you're finished. And when you return to center again, just feel the hips level out, draw in your belly, squeeze that block. Now we're going to hold on each side for 2 breaths. So as you squeeze the block, draw in the belly, take it over to the right, any amount you can sustain here for 2 easy breaths. Squeeze the block and hold. Draw in the inhale. Relax the shoulders on the exhale. One more inhale. One more exhale. Squeeze the block. Return to neutral. Level out. And then we'll take it left. Squeeze in. Exhale all the air out as you hover now to the left. Draw in the breath. Soften the body. Exhale. Inhale fully. Exhale slow. Squeeze the block. Return to center. Level out the hips. Take the block, send it off to the side. Take the feet wide on the mat and just a windshield wiper back and forth. So release the low back, front body. When the knees reach one side, use that side to just roll over to find your all fours. Taking a couple cat-cows here, just again, to roll through the front body, to roll through the back body. I like to keep my toes tucked under. It's a little 2-for-1. So just bringing a little bit of energy into the bottom of the feet, spread the fingers wide, press through the palms. And then you take your cat-cows. So as you allow the chest and the tailbone to rise, maybe you feel as the belly drops towards the mat, a nice stretch into those muscles that we just engaged. And then roll through the spine, tuck in the tailbone, tuck in the chin. And then just flow between them, and wherever it feels good, just give yourself permission there to pause and breathe. Preparing to move into our Sphinx pose, that very passive back bend. Finish that last cow up, come back to that neutral spine, drop down to your forearms. So the forearms form this number 11, fingers spread wide. Take one leg back and the other as you drop down onto the hips. The legs can be as wide as is comfortable. Press the palms down into your mat or the floor and energetically drag them towards you. As you do that, notice as you squeeze those shoulder blades and the top of the shoulders go back from that belly button all the way through the sternum. Again, a really nice stretch here. Take your breath, soften the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades in. Interlace the hands, center of your mat. Draw the legs in, tuck the toes if they're not already tucked. Press into your forearms, lift your hips off the mat. So let's find that forearm plank. So the heels go back, the chest lifts, the gaze is at that fist straight down. Take in a full breath and let it go. Good. So easy breath. Keep pressing through the forearms. Chest keeps lifting, heels go back. It's easy to lose the form here. Draw in your core. We only have 5 more minutes here, so I'm just kidding. 5 more breaths. Come to the point where the body is trembling just a little bit. Feel all the muscles, the stabilizers here kick in. Take the full breath. Then nice and slow, lower the hips down. Come back to your Sphinx. So release the fist, draw the chest forward between the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Full breath in. And on the exhale, stack the palms, rest the head on the pillow of the palms. Let the elbows spread wide so you have lots of room in that upper back body. Take a moment to shimmy out the hips. If it feels good, bend the legs and take a windshield wiper this way. And then return. Let the legs get heavy, the hips heavy, the shoulders heavy. Rest the head. Prepare yourself for this beautiful day and all it has to offer. Namaste, my friends. If you have the luxury of time, turn off your device. I'm going to close this down now just to be able to spend a few more minutes at rest on my mat. I hope you enjoy yours.